Welcome to one more session of International Tourism Financial Management. So, in our last class, we have talked about uh, the different modes of doing international business, the theories of international business. So, today we'll continue our session with MNC and its agency problems. Okay, we have studied about what is an MNC. A multinational corporation is a company which is situated in its home country and has subsidiaries all over the world. So this is a brief, you can say, framework of its financial environment. So it has to deal with foreign exchange market, export import for product markets. So when they're having branches, they have to flow or invest funds in that subsidiaries, and also profits from those subsidiaries will come back to them. Then they get funds from international stock markets, so that we call it as international financial market. Okay, so we have even talked about the difference between transnational companies and multinational companies. Transnational companies are not registered in their in one country itself. They had, it's like the whole globe is like the for is one country, and it based on different countries they develop their products. Management decision making is very much decentralized. Nothing comes from the parent company, so that's we call it as transnational. Means the identity of its home country is never been seen. So we have told about what is an MNC. Now we'll discuss about what is the goal of an MNC. Okay, the common goal of an MNC or a business is either profit maximization or wealth maximization. When I say profit maximization, when profit maximization is a goal, what happens is the managers or the top CEOs of the company will direct themselves in increasing the sales of the company, so that the profit increases, because manager's salary is linked with the profits of the company. Okay, so another major goal is maximization of shareholders wealth. Now when you say maximization of shareholders wealth, it means that you're going to uh, gain or come up with such projects which will increase the credibility, standing, and long-term cash flows of the company. So when I say cash flows or projects, so when you are a qualitative big brand and you come up with projects which are having long foresight, so what happens is, in general public's mindset, in the stock market, the image of the company is built. So when the image of the company is enhanced, more and more shareholders are willing to buy shares or invest in that company. So thereby the share price in the stock market increases. Okay, the market price of the shares increases. So there will be a race of investing in that company. So by doing this, the existing shareholders, their value of share increases, and thereby their wealth will maximize. Okay, so major goal of an MNC is either profit maximization or shareholders wealth maximization. But because of these goals only, there are certain conflicts, what we call them as agency problems. Okay, so when you talk about a business from the owner's point of view, from the shareholders point of view, share wealth maximization is the major objective. Means the shareholders or the owners want their wealth or share price increase. For this to happen, the managers have to undertake prospective profitable ventures or projects, but it takes time. to fetch a profitable project, then start doing the business, launch the product, then finally derive profits from it. So it takes some time. But the managers, for them, increasing the present sales with a present project is much more easier than going for long-term operations. So there is a conflict of goals between the owners or owners of the company and the managers of the company. The owners of the company or the shareholders want share price to increase, wealth to increase. Managers want their income to increase. So for their income to increase, as their income is linked with sales or profit, they think of increasing the present sales revenue of the company. So for this, they may use good, bad, ethical, unethical approaches so that the sales of the company will increase. So by hook or crook, they're selling the products. Why? Because they want to show huge profits in the present financial year. Okay, so this conflict of interest between owners and managers means shareholders want share price to increase, managers want sales to increase. So this conflict of interest is called as agency problem, and it is one of the major issue while managing a MNC. So when you are talking about agency problems, there are agency cost. What do you mean by agency cost? The amount you spend on your managers so that they will perform in a way where shareholders' wealth can be maximized. So agency cost for MNCs or managerial cost for MNCs is much higher than those companies who are doing business locally. Okay, why? Because the mere size of the MNC, it is a huge MNC, bulk company. You have to deal with so many managers. For that you have to search a very, what do you say, efficient manager. So searching, then payment, the perks of so many managers in different companies is going to be really huge. Then one more problem of why agency costs are more is because if it's a local company, it's everything is in handy, everything is nearby. But if it's a scattered distant subsidiary, say for example a parent company situated in USA having subsidiaries in each and every corner of the globe, for them the information flow is slow. They have to travel if something goes wrong. So there are so many issues regarding that. Then also biggest problem is nowadays, as we are doing business with MNCs, there is a multicultural problem. So people from different cultures have different mindsets. Okay, their mindset, their perception, attitude is different. Okay, the Indian manager, when compared to other managers, his way of working, his ideologies, ethics, then expectations from the job will be different. Okay, as you know, not only multiculturally, people have different ways of doing things. They have their own perceptions, attitude. So we have studied about this in our HR last year about how cultural differences can cause increase in efficiency, or it may decrease the efficiency of the company. Okay, then one more problem is the manager, a local manager say of a particular country, will think of increasing its image, shares in that local subsidiary only, and will not think about the whole firm at the international level. Okay, he may only think about, okay, whatever is happening, it should be within this country. Whatever wrong decisions he may take here, they may have an impact on other countries also. So he may not, he or she, whoever is the manager, may not think about the value of the subsidiary, its identity, its business here with relation to other MNC's value. So his outlook or goal may be limited to where he or she is working in that country itself. So he may not think about building the brand of that image MNC in total. Then we have two ways of solving this agency problem. Okay. So this can be a management control. So the magnitude of the agency cost can vary with the management style of the MNC. So if you are having a decentralized system of doing business, now what is a decentralized system? Where decision making is left out, you can say not major decisions, at least middle order level decisions are left to the subsidiary itself. Then the agency cost is little bit lesser. Why? Because when you're having a decentralized system, the managers feel that the top managers have trust on them, they believe in them. So this is a positive motivation for them to do good, to think about shareholders wealth maximization. If there is a centralized management system where every decision is taken from the parent company, that time the manager may not feel secure. They may feel that they don't believe us, that's why every small big decisions are taken by them. We are here just like rubber stamps. Okay. So this you can say the intensity of this agency problem or agency cost will vary depending upon which management style or which administration style you are doing. So when you talk about management style, we have different management style. That is the autocratic, democratic, team leader, and so on. Okay. So when autocratic means centrally controlled, that is centralized system. Democratic means decentralized system, where every employee, every manager is considered to be important and he is taking decisions. On the other hand, team leaders. Okay, so every type of manager style has its own plus points and negative points. If it is more a decentralized system, then the managers have more trust and they can control those managers who are closer to the subsidiary operations. Then some MNCs use one more way. They try to strike a balance between, they allow the subsidiary management to take the key decisions for their respective operations, but the decisions are one. So one way of doing, okay, I told you what is decentralized system. So but there is one drawback of decentralized system also. So if you leave everything on the managers or the subsidiaries, they may take wrong decisions. So to balance this, what the MNCs might do is that you leave them to take the decisions, but you try to monitor them, keep a close watch on the operations of different managers. So if in case something goes wrong, you can just intervene and tell them, okay, see, this is not the way, you have to change it. Okay. So somewhere you have to strike a balance. You can't have a fully centralized system where you're dictating, which is bad for the company. On the other hand, decentralized system where everything you leave on their own, they may take a wrong decisions. So better way is you strike a balance. Neither centralized, neither decentralized. You give them the power of making decisions, but keep a close watch on their working. This is made easier nowadays because of the advanced technology. You have video conferencing, electronic networks. So every actions of the subsidiaries is monitored by the parent company. Okay, so intranet, internet facilities can immediately generate financial reports and other documents instantly without traveling, which was not possible, say, 2-3 decades ago. Then one more way of solving the agency problem is corporate control. Okay, so we are having two ways of controlling these agency problems. One is management control, just now I discussed, that is about centralization, decentralization and all that. The second way of reducing management of agency problems is using different ways of corporate control. Now, what is corporate control? say we have this basic agency problem. What is agency problem? I told you before. I'll just say once more. Managers are agents of the owners. So when they are not acting accordingly to the intentions or goals of the owners, that is wealth maximization, there is a conflict and there arises a agency problems. Okay. So how can you motivate them to think about shareholders' wealth and not temporary short-term profit maximization? So one way of corporate control is you make the managers part owners of the company. So you are issuing stock compensation. So for example, every year if they are doing good, instead of giving them salary as bonus, you give them bonus in terms of few shares. Okay. So when you're giving them few shares, they are not employees right now. They become owners, part owners of the company. When I say owners, I'm not saying about total ownership. Shares means part ownership only. So when they feel that, okay, this is my company, I have shares in this, they will think of not mere profit maximization, but they will also think about increasing the overall value of the company by undertaking great projects, thinking about future cash flows. But one problem of such a stock compensation is, if say the managers are really very smart and you go on giving them stock compensations, then they may one day think about it that chalo, we will take over this company. Why? Because he knows every small big thing of the company, in and out of the company. So he may target others, make them towards him and buy their shares and end up into hostile takeovers. But it is, you can say, a distant one, because these stock competition compensations are not huge. They are in small numbers. Okay. So for, if you want to be careful about such hostile takeovers, the owners of the company or the top management may think about closely watching what is happening in the share market of their company, who is buying more, who is selling, why they are buying or less. So by doing this, they can think about some ways to avoid such hostile takeovers. So this is just a revision of whatever I told you now. So constraint interfering MNC's goals. I told you MNC managers attempt to maximize their firm's value and they are confronted with various constraints. So whenever you're doing international business, when you're thinking about profit maximization, wealth maximization, there are many problems which arise in the way of doing business. So whenever a foreign company is doing business, locals may raise the issue of environmental degradation. Say, for example, when you're the Pepsi company in, say, somewhere in South India, I think it is in Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, they were thinking of opening the company. Then there was a huge chaos about the locals that the groundwater will be depleted, there will be environmental constraints. Okay, similarly, any new project comes up, there are many local activists, environmentalists who come against it. Okay, so that can be a issue. Then the regulatory constraint, maybe they don't get the license, they're not getting permission from the government, or no, they're not getting the land from the government. That is one more issue of. So many a times, for this is the reason why many MNCs are shifting the location or countries, that there may be ethical constraint. MNCs, just to increase their profit and shareholders wealth, they may go into unethical products marketing and sales, and which may be banned in that country. Okay. So these all things, if you have a recent example, because of the border issue or the you can say hectic situation between India and China, so many Chinese companies are banned, the apps are banned, we are stopping the business. Local retailers and wholesalers are not buying from that country. So such things are always there. You can't say these are bad things, but these are have to happen and you have to overcome this in a right way. That's the reason why many Chinese apps which have been banned, they are trying to be is trying to sell part of their company to other countries so that they can re-enter in the Indian market. Say, for example, your Paytm, your PUBG, and all that. They are talking, or you can say they are trying to tie up with different, say, foreign countries so that they can re-enter the Indian huge market. Okay, so this is all about today's session about the agency problems, how they need to handle it, how to overcome the issues of profit maximization and increasing the shareholders' wealth. What are the different problems or constraints which arise in MNCs in doing business internationally? It may be environmental constraints, regulatory, or ethical constraints. So that's all for today. Any queries are always welcome. See to that you comment, like, share, and subscribe my channel. Have a good day. Thank you. We'll meet in our next session.